some associates gather on a stand. This trial's a circus, but I've got a plan. Not a grifter, still worse than Dan. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK in a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8 ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? Me be the diva, she's running the show. Chief Capone and that, yeah, everybody knows. Fat or fat, well, nobody knows. What the corn echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK in a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8 ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? What the corn echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle.
I was sleeping.
Perfect. Now we'll begin. This is what happens, Gabby's not here. You just give me. I know. I see it. Good for me. High five. That's why. Now you guys know why I keep Gabby around. She keeps these things from happening. I'm here by myself. And now I'm all discombobulated. I do have Miss Hera down here, though. You can't see her, but I promise you she's here. But she did not tell me that I was muted. Thanks, Flashbang. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done that. Anywho, how are y'all doing? I hope you guys had a great Tuesday. If I got that part right. Yes, Hera is my co-host today. She's sleeping on the job. She is sleeping, but she's here. So, and I think everybody that was working here today has left. So hopefully it'll be quiet. I doubt Rue will be quiet, but won't be as loud as it's been. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyway, I don't really don't have a lot of stuff to. I don't really have anything to go over. I'll just. Oh, Hera. It's like, maybe I do. But I will say hello to Bad Dazzer. And Flashman, thank you. I know you have been. I know you've been busy this week. And I was waiting. I knew that was coming. Apparently she didn't want to host with me either. I took a shower. Whatever. But I hope you're enjoying yourself, Flashman. What's up, Snipe? How are you, sir? No run over squirrels yet. Well, speaking of people that have run over animals, what's up, Brie? That is the one so far. The one plus that I can give the defendant that we're currently watching, who's representing himself, he did run over a skunk. So that's it. I'll give him that. I don't think this is going to go well for him. If what he says is true, if the police really did mess with the body cam video, if the police, really threatened him, if those things that he listed in his quote-unquote opening statement yesterday, which was awful and very hard to follow, and to be honest, I tuned some of it out. He should have never fired his attorney, his last attorney. He should have kept that person around. I don't know if it was a man or a woman. Because they could have presented that evidence and presented it properly. He has no clue how to present this. So I just don't see this going well for him. Anyway, if you're new, sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there. you, I'm seeing Tame Him. Well, I can't wait. So this is Wisconsin versus Kevin Lychwick or Lychwick, or who knows, because even he apparently doesn't know how to say his own last name either. He is on trial for allegedly taking the life of his neighbor and then hiding or concealing his neighbor's body afterwards. So we got into opening statements yesterday, and then we heard from Glenda Rose, who lived at the apartment complex that the defendant lived at and that the victim lived at. It was like the defendant's apartment, the victim's apartment, and then Glenda's apartment. And it also sounded like maybe she was kind of like the property manager, or she would be the person that would get calls, about if something was wrong. And so, and she's lived there for 36 years. I think she kind of knows the area. So we heard from her. Today we will hear from Specialist Michelle Nelson. We'll hear from the victim's daughter, Talisa Maldonado, and then we will hear from Dr. Alex Weidenhoft. I think he's a tree doctor. I think he's a forest person. I'm not exactly sure what his education's in, because I haven't listened to a lot of testimony because I like to listen to it with you guys first. And so that's what we have on the agenda for today. And then on Thursday, we will finish up the first day's testimony with, I think it's all detectives. Yeah, all detectives. Yay. I don't know. He's not done. Dr. Treehurst, he plays with wood all day. He might. I don't know. But the one thing, I think whoever caught it yesterday, I didn't catch it until the defendant who we're looking at here was cross-examining Miss Glenda Rose about saying, well, that wasn't exactly where the body was found, because it couldn't have been found where she was saying that. Again, an attorney could have jumped on that. Also, maybe don't say that when you're the defendant. If you, because she pushed back on that a little bit. So I don't think it landed for him, but that's just me. Alrighty, let's get this thing going here. Also, let me know how the volume is, because I kind of messed with it a little bit. Everything gets kind of wonky when we have as many power outages as we've had lately, and so I have to things get reset, so I have to mess with them. So it should still be okay, but let me know if it's not.
All the way up to the witness stand. When you get up to the chair, please remain standing and raise your right hand to be sworn in by our clerk.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may have a seat. That black bar with the red dot in front of you is our microphone. Get yourself situated nice and close to that. And start by stating your name, spelling your first name and last name for the record.
Nichelle, Nichelle, Nelson, Nelson.
Ms. Nelson, how are you employed?
As a specialist for the City of Waukesha Police Department.
As a specialist, are you also a sworn law enforcement officer?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been a sworn law enforcement officer in the state of Wisconsin?
Currently in my 29th year.
What is the difference between an officer or detective or a specialist, which you are?
It's a promotional process from an officer to a specialist.
And do you have a specific role as a specialist in the City of Waukesha Police Department?
Currently, I'm assigned to the forensic unit.
And what is the forensic unit responsible for?
Currently assigned to process crime scenes, in charge of our property room, fingerprints, and making sure things get sent to the criminal bureau for identification purposes.
To be a crime scene technician, do you have to go through any specialized training outside of that standard police academy that we're all used to hearing about?
Yes, additional training including forensic or basic evidence technology schools, as well as some additional courses that we choose to, such as maybe a death investigation course or additional photography courses.
Have you been to a death investigation course?
Yes.
More than one?
I just believe I took one course.
Okay. And as a crime scene technician, do you have to do any kind of continuing education?
We do throughout our career. Sometimes we attend the State Crime Lab puts on a once a year training, and sometimes we attend that.
The death investigation training that you just spoke about, is it specifically focused on homicide investigations or something more?
It's a variety of death investigations, so not just homicide.
Okay. Now, do you have another specialty within the City of Waukesha Police Department?
I also have a canine. He's an electronic search detection canine.
And what's his name?
His name is Canine Riker.
When it comes to crime scene investigations, is it fair to say that each person or each law enforcement officer that responds to the scene has a specific duty or role assigned to them?
Yes, but I would also say that we also work in collaboration with each other.
Okay. What would be the purpose of having individual roles for each person?
We're able to divide up tasks and get things done more efficiently.
When you arrive at a scene, and let's specifically focus on a death investigation, what is one of the first things that law enforcement will do in terms of protecting the integrity of that scene?
First thing we would do is we would like to make sure the scene is secure. Make sure that nobody outside of law enforcement comes into that scene.
Is that generally where we see that yellow crime scene tape around the area of the investigation?
Correct. And then to take it one step further, we also have red tape that sometimes breaks it down even to a smaller area.
Is there an officer who is assigned to keep a log of everyone that goes in and out of a crime scene?
Yes.
Are there times where, as a crime scene technician responding to a death investigation, you may not know if the death is suspicious or not at that time?
Yes.
When you are responding to the scene as a crime scene technician, and let's say your role is to take photos of the scene, is there a methodical way in which you do that, or do you just randomly walk around and take pictures?
I generally start large and work small.
And why do we do that?
So that you can generally gather what you're focusing on so that you can see the overall photos of what you're taking that picture of, and then generally then you can focus in on exactly what you're looking at.
Okay. And what is the importance of taking photographs at a crime scene?
Once we leave, we can never get that crime scene back. So we have to see the crime scene as it was when we get there.
If you are searching, let's say, a vehicle as part of your training experience as a crime scene technician, do you just start opening doors and taking things out, or is there a different way in which you do that?
No, we would also photograph that vehicle prior to doing any search of that vehicle.
As a crime scene technician, are you ever responsible for, once photos are taken of an item on scene, placing that item into police property or inventory?
Yes.
And is there a particular way you are trained in taking items from a crime scene and placing it on property inventory?
Depending on what type of item it may be, it would go into paper or plastic. Those items would stay in my care or possession until I would place those items onto our property management system, which is Phoenix Property.
And when I say placing an item onto police property, is it just a big property room, or can you describe for me what that is?
So our logging system is that I would actually take it back to the police department. It may require additional photographs of that item close up. It then would be packaged. We then create a report, and from that report, a label gets generated and placed onto that individual item.
Does the property room at your police department at the city of Waukesha, does that allow everybody inside, or are there only particular people that have access to that room at any given time?
It has restricted access. Myself, my two partners that I work with, our clerk and our two computer forensic also have access to it, as well as our boss.
When we're talking about items located at a crime scene, do you know right away if that item has evidentiary value?
Not necessarily.
Are there times where you seize items that you might want swabs taken from?
Yes.
And when I say swabs, what would be the purpose of swabbing an item?
For DNA.
And are there ever times where you take items where you might want to process that item for fingerprint analysis?
Yes.
When you are taking these items and when you're processing a scene, are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Is there any other protective gear of that nature that you wear on scenes, or does that depend on the scene?
It depends on the scene.
When you are photographing a scene, are there department issued cameras that you use?
Yes, we each have our own department issued camera.
And is there a particular way that you label each photo that you take from a scene?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Mine have my initials of NMN, and then they're labeled sequentially.
Every time you finish at a scene and you go back to the police department with any property that you may have packaged, do you empty that SD card on the camera, or is it just, there could be multiple scenes on a camera at once?
That would be uploaded. I save it on my computer. I upload it into evidence.com, our retention system for digital evidence. Once I know that they have all been uploaded, I then format that SD card.
What do you mean by format that SD
It would
card?
erase all the images from that particular scene, and then it would start back when I go take photos the next time at 001.
Okay, so you're not going to run into a situation where you have photos from two different scenes mixed into one?
No.
I'd like to direct your attention, please, to October 30th of 2024. On that date, were you already on duty?
I was.
And were you called to a scene at 1512 East North Street?
I was.
What was the reason for that call?
We got a call that there was possibly a body
A body?
in a tarp. Under,
Okay. Sorry, go ahead and
That's okay.
finish.
Under some brush.
Now, when you arrive on scene, do you immediately go to that area?
We didn't initially approach it. We saw it from a distance.
And why did you stay back from a distance versus immediately go to that area?
We didn't know if there was possibly evidence around where the possible body was.
So that was intentional.
Correct.
Once you arrive on scene, what is the first thing that you do?
I spoke to one of the detectives that was there, Detective Condon, advised him that I was going to start taking photographs of the scene.
And at this point, did you know what kind of death investigation this was?
I did not.
We've talked about the purpose of taking photos and preserving the scene the way in which it presents itself to law enforcement at that time. Where did you start taking photos on this property?
I don't recall if I went to the top of the hill to start or if I started down in the parking lot.
Okay, and can you, when you start taking these photos then, do you kind of follow a path through the property so you can almost follow it through your photos?
Yes.
And You start with the overview of the property, is that correct?
Yes,
And then do you make your way back to this pile where the body was reported to have been found?
correct.
Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen in front of the witness? Okay. Specialist Nelson, I am showing you a 52-page PDF packet that contains exhibits 3 through 54. Had you reviewed the photos you took of the scene at 1512 East North prior to your testimony today?
I did.
And were they a fair and accurate depiction of the photos that you took on October 30th of 2024?
They are.
I would move exhibits, well, number 3 has already been admitted, so I would move exhibits 4 through 54 into evidence, and 19 has also already been admitted.
Attorney Thompson, could you just slowly page through those exhibits, please?
Yes, starting with exhibit 3.
Go ahead, you can do it. I shouldn't have said slowly. You can moderately scroll through the pictures, please.
Now I went too fast and it's thinking.
That's fine, you can let it catch up. I think 25 was the last one that was really buffering.
Whispering. I can't understand them. Dang it. Fart chairs. We need something. At least they're not squeaking.
All right, let's hold up here. This is through Exhibit 31. Attorney Thompson, are you intending to go through each of these sequentially?
I am, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Lychwick, so far, what was the number that it started with, Attorney Thompson?
Exhibit 3 through 54.
Okay, so Mr. Lychwick, so far 3 through 31.
Frank's in the house. What's up, Frank? I got a very nice message from Frank this afternoon. So he went back and watched last night's stream, so he said he was laughing and crying all at the same time. And so you're very welcome, Frank. And I told you, you're very important to everyone, and I hope you know that. Also, side note here, this witness, the mole on her forehead is like perfectly centered between her eyes, and I can't stop looking at it. I mean, it's way up here, so it's not perfectly centered on her forehead, per se. But it's just right up there, and now you guys get to enjoy it too. Yes, Frank. What Flash Fan said. Absolutely. And what Snipe said. And even what Bad Dazzler said. Because, yes, good evening. And you are always welcome in here. Always.
Any objection to those photographs being introduced into evidence?
No, not at this time, Your Honor.
Then those will be admitted. 19 has already been admitted. And Mr. Lychwick, any objection to 3 through 31 being used to publish with the jury?
No.
All right, they may be published. Attorney Thompson, as we go through and show these exhibits, perhaps the others will buffer while we're waiting.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen for everyone, please? Now, Specialist Nelson, looking at exhibit number 3, is this the possible body in a tarp that law enforcement was called to investigate?
Yes.
Exhibit number 4, tell me what exhibit 4 shows.
A different view of the same photo from farther away.
Now, I'm showing you what's previously been marked as exhibit number 1 and received. So when we compare exhibit 1, which is a Google Map overview of the property, and exhibit number 4, where are you standing in exhibit 4?
Can you show me exhibit number 4 again?
Yes.
I'm not sure if down here is the pathway from the driveway that we walked up, if that's the bottom of the path. I think that is.
Okay.
So I was looking up the hill, I believe.
And as we continue going through these, I'll be asking you if you can kind of help orient the jury as to how you're walking through this property.
For the record, the witness has placed a couple of green markings on exhibit number 4. Attorney Thompson, do you want to capture that as 4A?
No, I don't think that was intentional.
Okay. We'll clear it.
Moving on then to exhibit 5, are we starting to get closer to the pile of the branches and the tarp?
Yes.
1000%,
Now, exhibit
Deidre.
6.
Agree.
Obviously, we don't see the blue tarp anymore, so have you switched your positioning as it relates to this pile of sticks?
Yes.
At this point, are we continuing to go further away from the driveway to the top of a hill area in the back of the building?
That would be correct.
Exhibit number 7, what are we looking at here?
More towards I'd be facing towards North Street. So once again, I'm at the top of the hill looking down.
Okay, and up here where my cursor is towards the top and middle of exhibit number 7, is this the driveway of the apartment building?
Correct.
And is that maybe one of your detectives right there speaking with someone?
Yes.
Okay, now moving on to exhibit number 8, what are we seeing here?
Another view of the pile.
And why are you taking so many photos of the pile?
Just to get different angles and just in case I didn't capture something in one of my other photographs.
Moving on to exhibit number 9. What is this?
I went around the back side of the pile looking more now towards kind of like the garage of the apartment building.
Okay, and these wooden planks here, if you're following my cursor to the top left of exhibit number 9, is that kind of like a retaining wall?
Yes.
Moving on to exhibit number 10, where are we now on the property?
They had like a garden area near the top of the complex, and there was different piles of debris and branches up there, so I went up there and photographed that area as well.
Were there any other tarps or bodies under these sticks?
Did not locate any.
Okay. Exhibit number 11, what is this?
More of the debris piles near the garden area.
Exhibit number 12?
More debris in the garden area.
Exhibit 13 then, what is this?
The garden area.
Is this a pretty wide area at the top of the hill?
It is.
Where are you in this angle of exhibit number 14?
You can kind of see in the background there, the apartment complex. If I draw in here, that's the apartments. So kind of looking down towards the apartment complex.
Okay, and I do not need that to be captured.
Okay, it'll be noted that the witness placed a green X near the center of Exhibit 14, but we will not capture 14A.
Thank you. Now looking at exhibit number 15, are we still at the top of the hill here?
Yes,
Have we started coming down the hill back towards the apartment building?
I believe so.
Okay, and these logs that we see, they appear to be in a square shape. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Is this, well, actually, no, strike that. Moving on to exhibit 16, what do we see here?
I think that was the beginning of the garden area.
And exhibit 17?
Just
Absolutely, Frank. Okay, Flash fan. That's another subject to talk about at some point. Now I'm curious. This case actually, this trial took place about 4 weeks ago, so we're not traveling too far back in time for this one. Flashman actually sent me this one. And this is in Waukesha, Wisconsin, which if you watched Darrell Brooks' trial, that's where he did his horrible thing. And this guy is also kind of trying to be like Darrell Brooks, but not as annoying so far, and representing himself. He is accused of taking the life of his neighbor in, I believe, April of 2024, and then concealing his remains. And that's what's in the woods. That's what all the pictures are in the woods. He's representing himself, like I said. He's not like doing all the crazy things that Darrell Brooks did thus far. We're only on the second witness. So who knows? Flashman said we're seeing the tame side of him. But that's pretty much the case. He fired 2 public defenders. And Flashman, correct it, was he found, the crime allegedly happened in April 2024, and they're saying are they saying he was in the woods from April to October? Because they found him in October, or did I dream that part up? Because I don't know that I would believe that. All summer, out there in the heat, not that far from the apartment complex, it doesn't seem. Somebody's gonna smell something. Okay. I just wondered if he kept him somewhere else. Like that storage unit that he got free for a free month until he canceled it. So I know that really wasn't much of a summary, but that's really the case so far. Yeah, no critters eating bits. Yeah, that's kind of strange. So I'm wondering if he kept him somewhere else. And then maybe thought they would get through the winter and he could stage like an accident or something. I don't know. Oh, okay. You don't know if he was arrested then or if that's when the victim was found. Because I'm trying to look at the area around in the pictures, and it kind of looks fall in some pictures, and it kind of looks spring in other pictures, so I'm not sure. Guess I could go back and listen to the state's opening statement. Not right now.
A marker from my purpose is to kind of give a demonstration or a location as to where I was photographing.
This one doesn't have a number, but it should be exhibit number 18. What are we looking at here?
The back side of the apartment complex, the hill up, and if you were to look straight ahead through that, that would be Westmoreland.
Okay. And exhibit number 19 has previously been admitted. What are we seeing here?
The back side of the apartment complex, and you can see the garage door that's open.
Okay, and that garage door leads out to the driveway that leads out to north, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now exhibit 20, what are we looking at here?
The top of the hillside.
And exhibit 21, have you continued coming further down the hill?
Yes.
And right where my cursor is at the top of these concrete stairs, is that a common doorway into the apartment building?
I believe so.
And exhibit 22.
Just turned around from where I was and took a photo up to the top of the hill.
Now that you have completed a kind of overview of all the different areas of the property, did you then come back to the area in which the body was reportedly found?
Yes.
Okay. Now, exhibit number 23, what are we seeing here?
A close-up of the blue tarp.
As you are taking photos of this pile, did you also observe at any point black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Okay. When you are taking these photos, have you touched any of these branches or anything yet?
Myself, along with some of the other officers or detectives, we were starting to slowly remove some of the sticks and stuff that were over the tarp.
And as you started slowly moving those sticks off, were you taking photos as you went?
Yes.
Did there come a time where you stopped taking sticks off of this pile?
Yes.
When?
I observed twine or rope, and I also observed what I thought to be shoes at one of the ends, and I took my gloved hand and tapped the bottom, and I felt a shoe, and at that point I told Detective Condon that I felt that we had a body wrapped up.
Once you tapped and you felt what you thought was a shoe, what did you do next?
I advised Detective Condon that we needed to contact the medical examiner.
And was the medical examiner's office contacted?
Yes.
And subsequently, did an ME's office investigator and Dr. Scheel arrive on scene?
Yes.
While you were waiting for the medical examiner's office, did you continue moving the branches or unwrapping the tarp?
No.
Okay. Once the ME's office arrived on scene, what process started or continued?
We can continue to remove branches from the tarp. We worked in conjunction with them with photographs and removing items. They maintained custody of any items that they thought was relevant.
When you're looking at a scene such as this, you talked about earlier how you don't always know what items are relevant in an investigation. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say.
And actually, no, I'll continue on. So moving on to exhibit number 24, what are we seeing here?
You can see part of a black bag as well as some rope.
Is this the area you were when you tapped what you thought was a shoe?
I couldn't be for certain with this photo.
Okay, that's fair. Moving on to exhibit number 25, are we standing further back from the pile?
Yes.
Okay.
Oops.
Now, exhibit number 26, have some of the branches and vegetation been moved back off of the tarp?
Yes.
Exhibit number 27, what kind of angle are we looking at here?
I'm probably standing a little bit closer and maybe a little bit more like over to get a more direct downward shot at the.
Okay, and if we look on the left side of exhibit number 27 where you see my cursor here, what part of the body was this part where my cursor is?
That would be where I thought I felt shoes, where I saw shoes.
Moving on to exhibit number 28. What are we looking at here?
An overview.
Are you seeing at this point any other ropes or twine that you talked about earlier?
Do you want me to mark?
I would love it if you could circle each twine that you see, please. Your Honor, I would ask that this be screen captured and marked as Exhibit 28A.
It will reflect the 3 green circles the witness has identified. Just pause a moment until my clerk verifies that the capture is complete.
Of course.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Moving on then to Exhibit 29. What, if anything, of evidentiary value do you see in this photo, Specialist Nelson?
Just some rope that's up in here.
Okay. At this point, when you start removing the branches, I do not need that screen captured.
All right, it will reflect that the witness did indicate to the right of the picture on Exhibit 29. We can clear that.
As you start removing branches, once the medical examiner's office gets there, do you find what are believed to be human bones outside of this tarp or black plastic sheeting that you referenced?
I believe so.
Do you see any of those in Exhibit 29 or not yet?
I can't tell if it's hard to say with all the debris that's in there.
Okay. Moving on to Exhibit 30. There's obviously an arm in the top right-hand corner.
Yes.
Is that yours or the medical examiner's office?
Medical examiners.
And in looking at what the ME's office employee is holding, it looks like a regular paintbrush. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Why is she using a paintbrush? What's the purpose of that?
To cautiously remove debris.
When we're looking at Exhibit 30 then, can you start to see the outline of a foot?
Yes.
Is that the part of the body in which you are standing by, the feet?
Correct.
Okay. Exhibit number 31, what are we seeing here?
Some clothing.
Okay. Does it appear as if it's coming out of that black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Your Honor, this is where we initially stopped as the packet was still buffering, so I would move Exhibits 32 through 54 into evidence as we continue and ask to publish to the jury.
Sure. Let's take the screen down, Madam Clerk, for the public. It'll remain on for counsel table and the witness. And Attorney Thompson, if you could scroll through the remaining exhibits then.
This is going much faster.
All right, you went to 53, is that right?
That one was 52. This is 53.
And this is as far as you're asking to go?
No, I still have 54.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. There we go.
The state has moved for admission of 32 through 54. Mr. Lychwick, do you have any objection to those pictures being received into evidence?
No.
They will be received. And any objection to publication of those exhibits with the jury, Mr. Lychwick?
No.
Then they will be able to be used with the jury.
Okay, now Specialist Nelson, in looking at Exhibit 32, has the medical examiner's office and yourself started the process of, or continued the process of removing all of the sticks and vegetation and debris from the tarp area?
Yes.
Do you still see the twine that you previously referenced in this photo?
Yes.
Why not just scoop up all of the vegetation and put it in a bag so you can get to the tarp and the plastic sheeting quicker?
Because there could be other evidence that we would miss in doing so.
How long were you on scene, not only taking photos, but then also processing this particular area, if you recall?
There was hours.
Moving on to Exhibit 33, are we now getting closer to the area we just saw in Exhibit 32?
Yes.
Now, in Exhibit 34, what are we looking at here?
You can start seeing some bones.
Can you circle for me on Exhibit 34 where you start seeing bones? I would ask this be screen captured and marked as Exhibit 34A, please.
It will.
Thank you. Now, when we were just talking about how you can't just scoop everything up because you might miss something, based on where these bones were, would they have possibly been in that big vegetation scoop that I just referenced?
Probably not.
You would have felt them, or?
We may have missed them.
Okay. Now moving on to Exhibit 35, what are you focusing on with this picture here?
The twine and the knot.
Do you recall which section of the body this particular piece of twine was from?
I do not.
Okay. Exhibit 36?
The knot.
Okay. Now, did there come a time at the medical examiner's office where the twine was removed from the tarp and the plastic sheeting?
Yes.
And was the twine cut at all?
I don't recall if they did. If they did, the medical examiner's office did that.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did anybody on scene untie these knots?
No.
Looking at Exhibit 37, what are we looking at here?
More of the twine and the knots.
And this appears to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, a different set of twine than what we just looked at in Exhibit 36. Is that fair?
Yes.
And Exhibit 38?
Close-up of those knots.
Exhibit 39, what are we looking at here?
A different section with the twine and a different set of knots.
Is this where the head of the body is located?
Yes.
And so the rope appears to be around, you know, if the skull is in this circular part here, then the twine appears to be kind of towards the neck or upper chest area. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Exhibit 40, what are we looking at here?
Another angle of those bones.
Specialist Nelson, have you investigated crime scenes in the outdoors before in your career?
This was the first.
It was, okay. Were the tarps and the plastic sheeting sealed around the body, or were there openings?
There were some openings.
Exhibit 41, please. What are we looking at here?
Just a different angle farther down from where those bones were.
Now, In looking at Exhibit 41, if you can see my cursor, I'm kind of in the middle of Exhibit 41. Do you know what that piece of debris was?
We found cardboard.
Were there other pieces of cardboard debris near the body?
Yes.
Were those collected?
Yes.
Did we find any other pieces of cardboard debris inside the tarp or the black plastic sheeting to your knowledge?
I don't remember if there was any inside or not.
Okay. I'm also moving a little bit to the left of the cardboard debris, and what I'm circling here, did you notice as you were processing this scene, any tape on various parts of this tarp or black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Can you circle for me on Exhibit 41 where you see tape? I would ask, please, that this be marked as Exhibit 41A and screen captured.
It will reflect the 2 green circles marked by this witness.
Was the tape removed from the black sheeting that we see in Exhibit 41 on scene?
No.
Okay. Is that to, well, never mind, strike that. Moving on to Exhibit number 42, what do we see here?
Close-up of the cardboard in just that general area.
In Exhibit 43, what are we looking at in this picture?
That was some glass. I know we had found glass that night, and that could be a close-up of the glass we found.
Okay. Is this still, I mean, do we even see someone's gloved hand in the top right corner of Exhibit 43?
Yes.
So this is still the area right next to the body?
Yes.
Exhibit number 44, what are we looking at here?
Another angle of the bones.
Do you also see the twine in this photograph?
Yes.
Exhibit number 45, what are we seeing here?
More of the bones uncovered.
Okay. Were all of the bones then taken or collected by the medical examiner's office and taken back to the office?
Yes.
Moving on to Exhibit 46.
Another close-up.
By this time, is it darker outside or is it getting dark?
It's getting dark.
Okay, so now that you've shifted to processing the scene at night, are there any types of lights or equipment that you use to help ensure you're still gathering everything you can from the scene?
Yeah, we got some lights up there for us to work.
Okay. Did it end up raining at all that night while you guys were out there?
I think it started, but I don't recall exactly.
Okay. Moving on to Exhibit number 47. What are we looking at here?
Just another close-up showing some of the cardboard.
Do you see any tape at all?
Yes.
Do you also see 2 sections of twine?
Yes.
Exhibit 48 then?
Twine and some more cardboard.
And at this point, has all of the brush and sticks and debris been removed from the body?
Yes.
And now we are left with the tarp and the black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Exhibit number 49, what is this?
Just another close-up of the twine.
What is Exhibit 50?
I believe it was a close-up of one of the arms or the hands.
What is Exhibit 51?
More close-up of some of the bones that were outside the bag.
Exhibit number 52, what are we looking at here?
A photo of what the ground looked like once everything was removed.
And so you talked about how the medical examiner's office and yourself did not open up the tarp or the black plastic sheeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, why take a picture of what is underneath the tarp and that sheeting?
Just to show what was left afterwards.
And in addition to showing what was left, Did this scene continue to be processed, or once you remove the body, you just walk away?
No, we continue to dig through
Why?
in case there was items that we may have missed.
In this particular scene, were there any bugs collected?
The medical examiner did take bugs.
Okay, that was the medical examiner's job then. Is there anything else that, besides taking these photos, that you collected at this very particular spot with the body?
The medical examiner pretty much took everything
Okay,
that night.
okay. Moving on to Exhibit 53 then. Is this still the same area?
Yes.
And Exhibit 54?
Just another photograph of that same area.
Okay, and the top layer of the ground that was right underneath the tarp, was that debris also collected by the medical examiner's office for examination?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you attend the autopsy of these remains that we recovered in the woods at 1512 East North?
Yes.
And did that occur on November 1st of 2024?
Yes.
Why do you go to an autopsy?
To collect additional items for evidence.
Does the medical examiner's office have property inventory like police do?
They, similar, but not necessarily, I don't want to say like as detailed, but they have a sheet that they do give us of items that they have.
At the start of an autopsy, is there a piece of paper that is kind of like an inventory list of all items recovered from the remains by the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
And at the conclusion of the autopsy, is it yourself or whatever other law enforcement officer is present for the autopsy? Do you sign off on that or acknowledge that you are taking the items that the medical examiner's office is not keeping?
Yes.
And in this case, do you recall taking items with you once the autopsy was complete?
I don't think I took them that day just because some of the items needed to dry. But yes, I did take custody of some of the items from the autopsy.
And then once you take custody of those items, then you go back to the police department that we talked about earlier and put everything on property inventory for subsequent processing?
Yes.
And by subsequent processing is one of those potentials to send evidence to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab for analysis?
Yes.
And are there different specialized fields within the crime lab that can assist in analyzing the various pieces of evidence?
Yes.
We talked a little bit about vegetation and debris that we found on scene. During the autopsy, were there particular items of vegetation that were of significance to you?
There was some, yes.
Okay. Now, those items, those particular landscape items, if you will, when you collected those, did the medical examiner's office suggest a agency who might be able to assist in the identification of those items of landscaping?
The medical examiner did not, but the state crime lab did.
Thank you for correcting me. So why did you ask the crime lab for that information and they offered it, or how did that work?
We have a pretty good working relationship with the crime lab, and through conversation of this case, they actually recommended a gentleman that works in vegetation.
Okay. Was that individual an employee of the U.S. Department of Agriculture?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen just in front of the witness, and I will be showing you what's marked as State's Exhibits 55 through 57. Okay. Now, first showing you 55.
Okay.
And 56 and 57. Did you take these photographs?
I did.
And do they show two specific pieces of vegetation that you asked the Department of Agriculture agent to assist you with in identifying?
I did.
And then was that individual able to give you an identification of those landscaping items?
Yes.
I would move exhibits 55 through 57 into evidence and ask to publish to the jury.
Mr. Lychwick, any objection to 55 through 57 coming into evidence?
No.
They are received. Any objection to publication, Mr. Lychwick?
No.
And they may be used with the jury.
I'm going a little bit out of order, but starting with exhibit number 56, Specialist Nelson, what is this item that we're looking at?
It's called a catalpa pod.
And where was this pod located as it relates to the body that you found?
There were catalpa pods located inside the bag and on the body. This one I actually retrieved when I went back out and found out what I was looking for from Alex.
Okay, thank you. So this is not the one that was specifically recovered from the remains. Do I have that correct?
Correct.
But it is the same type of pod that you saw in the remains at the medical examiner's office?
That I gave to Alex, who works for the U.S. Department.
Okay.
Ms. Nelson, do you know how to spell that?
Caltapa, I believe.
Thank you.
Now moving on to exhibit 57. What does exhibit 57 show?
Juniper?
And this is not the exact juniper branch that was located with the remains. Is that fair to say?
No, it's another one that I went out and retrieved the same day I took the photographs.
Okay. So this individual at Department of Agriculture had identified the two pieces of vegetation you sent him as a catalpa pod and juniper. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
And then from there, you went back to the scene at 1512 East North to see if there were any juniper or catalpa pod.
What's up, Baker? And ugh, Jen is, no wonder they say it tastes like a pine tree. Gross. I don't like that. Also, Jen does not taste like a pine tree. It tastes like crap. That's all I'm going to say. Looks like a pine branch. It's a juniper tree. Yeah. I don't know. Jen is... they gave me the whole spiel at the bar one time. It's good. Just tastes like a tree. Tastes like a pine tree. I took a drink and I was like, that tastes like shit. Bad. Also, Dr. Weidenhoff works for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, not the Forestry Department. If we could ever get there. It's flowery for your taste. Gin is flowery. Ew. Ew. Why would you drink it? Why would you? Thank you. Well, I don't know what kissing Gabby's like. But, because of her mustache, I will let her know when I see her next time to wax that thing. And also, I've never kissed a Christmas tree either, Baker. What have you been doing? You would kiss either? I can tell her to keep the mustache. You know, you guys, I don't know. Maybe she could just wax half of it. Yes, it is always past his bedtime. But he streams like 30 streams a day. Every time I look, he's streaming. I get up in the morning, he's streaming. Sometimes I just miss him. You don't have luck with the ladies say you love Christmas? Hey, is that because you don't have to buy them gifts? So you're like, that's convenient. I can't say anything, Baker. I can't say anything. I was listening to Val and Now My Favorite Girl. I don't know who that is. You kiss under the mistletoe or the camel toe? Oh, man. Bad Dazzer. Or both, says whoever. Well, it depends on if you get a real tree. The real tree is going to leave you. Oh, that's you. Baker, I started my stream off muted today. Okay, that's just how it's going. That's just how it's going. As my son said to me today has been a weird day. It has, and I can't tell you exactly. I can't tell you why because I don't know, but it has. True, you don't have to cut the tree down. Well, all my pine trees left me. I'm just saying that. They're all gone now. I will have to find a picture that I took last winter and then what it looks like now. Because they're gone. They all got cleaned up today. It's very sad. I hate it. Yeah, tornadoes are the exception. I hate it. I hate it. I'm glad that they're cleaned up, but I hate that they're gone so bad. What's up, Heidel? Sorry. Now you can't not look at it. It's centered. I mean, it's right there. It's right there. It's Taco Tuesday. Oh, I had tacos I had tacos last night. I always do that. I don't know. Oh yeah, everyone has a few moles. I'm just saying, like, that mole, it's so perfect. It's like centered right between her eyes. And I can't not look at it. I'm not making fun of the woman. I'm just amazed at where the universe or God or whoever placed it. It's perfect. Tacos are good on any night. You can get them. Bad other. I had soft tacos. So I don't know. All right. I've got... this witness is taking forever. Too long, didn't read. This is this trial we're not traveling that far back for. It's only 4 weeks ago. So we didn't have to go that far. We're going to Wisconsin. Also not that far from me, Heidel, and Snipe, I guess. This is Kevin Lychwick or Lychwick. I don't know. Flash fan says he doesn't know. Oh yeah, you do know this case, Heidel. But Sticky might not, so I will tell him. This guy is representing himself in Waukesha, Wisconsin, which you will recognize from Daryl Brooks. He's not as crazy as Daryl Brooks, at least not yet. Flash fan says we have only seen the tame version of him so far. And he is accused of taking the life of his neighbor and concealing his remains, his body in the woods, apparently. I don't remember, maybe whoever you're good at remembering this stuff. If the crime allegedly happened in April of 2024, I don't buy that he laid out in those woods from April to October. Then Flashfan said maybe they just arrested him in October, and I don't remember the time frame of when he disappeared and when they found him, if it wasn't October. Because there's no way that guy laid in those woods all summer in Wisconsin even. So, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen to the state's opening sometime. I don't know when. We are almost done with this witness, though. This has been forever.
Landscaping items at that scene, is that correct?
Correct.
And Did you specifically go to the area where the remains were located?
I went on the premise, the property.
Okay. Now, in looking at exhibit number 55, tell me what I'm looking at here.
That's one of the trees that lines East North Street.
Is this tree, was it overhanging on, or was it hanging over the remains that you found?
No,
Okay, it was further down the driveway, closer to the street?
yes,
Okay. What is this tree?
it's a catalpa tree.
Did you see these trees anywhere else on the property as it relates to the location of the remains?
No,
Okay. How close then is this tree to the remains that you found?
can you put the map back up of
Sure.
So these would be the catalpa trees right here, and the body would have been up in here.
Record will reflect that the witness is identified with a green line where the trees were and a green dot with where the body was found.
Thank you.
Do you want that memorialized, Attorney Thompson?
No, thank you. Okay then. I do not have any other questions for this witness. Thank you.
Mr. Lychwick, cross-examination?
The only thing I would like to request the court to do is to provide the jury with the markings from the expert of the property, the satellite view of the property where she marked in green.
Just the one that she had up there?
Yes, please.
Sure, we can do that. So Attorney Thompson, if you can pull up Exhibit 1 again.
Yes.
And Ms. Nelson, I'll have you re-indicate on that exhibit where the catalpa trees were and where the body was found.
Okay. Catalpa, and the body was sitting here.
All right, she did place the same type of markings on there, so we will memorialize this as Exhibit 1B. Mr. Lychwick, go ahead.
Otherwise, Your Honor, I have no questions for the witness.
Okay, thank you. You may step down.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we take a break at this time? We've been going
don't know
at it
what
here
that
for a little
is.
bit. We'll take about a 10-minute break for you to use the facilities and take a stretch, and
Yeah.
we'll convene when you're ready.
Watch on like double speed. Oh, and I started the stream off muted, Heidel. That's probably the most exciting thing that's happened. All right.
Thank you. You may be seated.
That could be. That could be.
We are outside the presence of the jury. Anything we need to address before we break, Attorney Thompson?
No. Actually, yes, my next witness is Talisa Maldonado, and I would like to address, please, my request to not have her testimony recorded.
Sure. The court heard this pretrial and is granting the state's request. The court will supplement its media order to specifically address the next witness because the next witness is a representative of the victim in addition to being a witness. The court is going to restrict any filming and streaming of this next witness's testimony. It can be audio, but I ask that the witness not be photographed or any visual representation of the witness because of victim confidentiality and victim privacy. However, we will be referring to her by name and she will testify as normal. Anything else, Attorney Thompson?
No, thank you.
Mr. Lychwick, anything before we break?
My name is Lychwick, Your Honor. No, I have no questions at this time, except to add again
Thanks, Ruth.
that this is a travesty of justice on my end. I'm not receiving a fair trial.
And that is noted. We will break for 10 minutes.
All right. Thanks, Rue. I don't even know what she's barking at. So I like how this judge did this to say audio only, because in the what was that, Pikesville, whatever, in Ohio, when that, like, many members of a family were wiped out, and they did that trial, there was a lot of witnesses that didn't want to be on TV, which I understood, but they also didn't, Pike County, thank you, they didn't play their testimony either. So you were, it was so, I tried to follow that court case when the first one happened, but you couldn't, because this witness would be on the stand and testify, and then the next one you might not hear anything for an hour. So, like, it just got too hard to follow, so I stopped. All right, so this is so we won't see this witness,
Thank you.
we'll
You
just
may be
hear her.
seated.
And this is the victim's daughter.
The state may call its next witness.
Thank you. The state calls Talisa Maldonado.
Ma'am, come on up to the witness stand. When you get up by the seat, please remain standing and raise your right hand to be sworn in by our clerk.
What's up, Haley? 15 minutes.
This matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, have a seat. That black bar with the red dot in front of you is our microphone. Get yourself seated nice and closely to that. And when you are ready, start by stating your name, spelling your first name and your last name.
Okay. My name is Talisa Maldonado. TalisaMaldonado.
Thank you. Miss Maldonado, are you familiar with an individual named Carlos Maldonado?
Yes,
Who is that?
that's my dad.
And were you aware of your father living in an apartment building in the city of Waukesha?
Yes.
Had you been there previously or not?
I had been there. I dropped him off there before, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm taking you back to April of 2024. The year or year and a half or so leading up to that time frame, were you and your dad close?
Yeah, we were.
Had there been a time in your lives where you were not as close as you were in the year leading up to April of 2024?
Yes, yeah.
And in that process of reconnecting, did you guys talk on the phone often in that year leading up to April of 24?
Yeah, it was almost weekly, sometimes daily. It was, yeah.
And was your dad working at that time?
Yeah, he, for a time he was working at Amazon, and then he stopped working there, and he was trying to start his own business.
Do you know what business he was trying to start?
He was a jack of many trades, I guess, if that's the verbiage. He wanted a window tinting business, and then he wanted to, like, refurbish furniture.
Okay. Now, when he was at work, were there times where you would call him but he couldn't answer because he was at work?
Yes.
Did you ever get a response after he didn't answer from him saying that he would call you back or anything like that?
Always, yeah.
So there was always an acknowledgement of a call that he missed from you. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Would like to direct your attention to April 13th of 2024. On that date, did you have a phone call conversation with your dad?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Do you remember what you guys talked about?
Yeah. Do you want me to elaborate?
Yes, please. What did you talk about?
We talked about my boyfriend Mark that I just started seeing at the time, and he wanted to meet him.
We talked about my FAFSA because I wanted to go back to school. And then we talked about going out to eat.
Okay. Now, as far as the FAFSA, you said you wanted to go back to school. What field did you want to study?
The medical field.
Okay. And was your dad encouraging you to go back to school?
Yeah.
What would he say to you about that during that conversation?
He was always like, Dalisa, you're so wise. You're so smart. You should go back to school. Like, you would do great. I just see, like, he saw a lot of potential in me that I didn't see in myself.
You also talked about how you guys were having a conversation about going out to eat that week. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Did you and your dad have any kind of routine, if you will, in the sense of trying different kinds of restaurants together?
Mexican food. We always went to a Mexican restaurant, and we would try different Mexican food. It was mostly for the chips and salsa because I'm a chips and salsa girly. So I would try the different chips and salsa. I would be like, this one's good or this one not so much. I was kind of a critic, I guess.
And that's something that you and your dad had planned on either the week after that phone call or maybe the next week after. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to do that?
No.
Okay. Madam Clerk, can you please place the screen on in front of the witness only, please? Ms. Maldonado, I'm showing you what is marked as State's Exhibit number 65. Do you know what this photo is?
It's my dad.
Is this a photo that you provided to my office for purposes of this trial?
Yes.
I would move Exhibit 65 into evidence and ask to publish to the jury.
Any objection to admission?
No, none.
It is admitted. Any objection to publication?
No.
It may be published and used with the jury.
Ms. Maldonado, why did you pick this photo?
Because it showed how happy he was. I always saw my dad as this happy person and who loved me so much. And this is who I saw. So I wanted other people to see that too.
After you had this phone call on April 13th, did you attempt to contact your dad at all later that week?
Yeah, I did.
Did you try calling him, texting him, or something else?
Both.
Did he ever respond to any of those calls or texts?
No.
And was that unusual based on the contact you guys had been having leading up to that point?
Yeah, it was.
The following week then, when you still didn't get any calls or texts, what's starting to go through your mind? What are you feeling?
I was worried. I was confused. I didn't understand what was going on. Part of me was like, did something happen to him? Another part of me was like, did he ghost me? But then I'm like, my dad wouldn't do that. It was just, I had a lot of different feelings.
Did you have family members reaching out to you asking if they had seen, or if you had seen your dad?
I did have my aunt reach out to me in May.
Had she seen or heard from him at all?
No, and she was curious if I had as well.
Okay. Did there come a time in May of 2024 where you went to or reported to the City of Waukesha Police Department that you hadn't seen or heard from your dad since April 13th?
Yes.
And were officers able to develop any leads at that time about whether he was missing or where he would have gone?
No.
Do you remember going to your dad's apartment building and being let into his apartment by one of the residents?
Yeah.
Do you remember her name at all by chance?
Glenda?
And when you went in, or I'm sorry, did you go inside your dad's apartment?
Yes.
And when you went inside, what did you notice about the inside of his apartment?
Everything was left behind, which wasn't usual. Yeah.
Is there anything that you saw in the apartment or were thinking that if you saw it, you knew he wouldn't have just fled because this wouldn't be left behind?
His birth certificate and his diplomas.
Did you see those anywhere in the apartment?
Yeah, they were above his refrigerator in like a cabinet in a bag.
So at this point now, you haven't heard from your dad, you haven't seen him, nobody's had any contact with him. You see these items that he wouldn't have left behind. What thoughts are starting to go through your mind then? Does the worry increase or decrease or something else?
I had a feeling that he may be passed because, or like something bad happened to him because he wouldn't leave that stuff behind.
Because of what?
He wouldn't leave that stuff behind.
Would it be fair to say that your heart knew something before your mind did?
Yeah.
Over the next few months, May turns into, the summer, and we come to October 30th of 2024. Were you personally trying to find your dad?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
It's kind of embarrassing. I would call like homeless shelters and stuff, and then I would call hospitals, and then I got to a point where like I was so desperate, I started calling psychics, because I just wanted to know what happened, where he was. Yeah.
When you, or do you recall, after that October 30th date, having a conversation with law enforcement officers and them telling you that they had found your dad's remains?
Yeah.
And were you aware of whether they were found on the property of his apartment building? Did they tell you that?
Yes, because prior they told me that they found a body at his apartment complex, but they couldn't confirm if it was him, and then later they confirmed it was him, so I knew where it was prior.
When you were having that conversation and you got that notification, what were you feeling?
Part of it was like relief of knowing, but another part was like it was a lot of pain. Because it wasn't supposed to happen like this. It wasn't supposed to happen. It was painful. I don't know.
Was he supposed to meet Mark?
Yeah.
Was he supposed to see you graduate college?
Yeah.
Ms. Maldonado, what do you do for employment now?
I'm a caregiver with dementia residents. Dementia residents.
And so is that one of the areas of the medical field that you were talking about maybe going back to school for, or at least in that field?
Yeah. It was either going to be nursing or psychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you take care of individuals with dementia, you said, right?
Yeah.
Do you work with friends, or is it like a company or something else?
So I do work for a company, but I do work with my friends as well. Yeah.
Okay. Is that something that you enjoy?
Yeah, I do really enjoy it.
Okay.
Especially with who she's working with, whoever. My mom had Alzheimer's, and when we had finally put her in a nursing home, was horrible. But those people were really, really good to her, and they earned every bit of their money. Every bit of it.
Thank you, Ms. Maldonado. I do not have any other questions for you.
Cross-examination, Mr. Lychwick.
Outside of expressing my condolences for the loss of your father, I have no questions for this witness.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lychwick. You may step down now. The state may call its next witness.
Your Honor, we called Dr. Alice Wiedenhoff.
Okay. Flash fan, I don't know. I'll do it because Carmen's not here. I don't know why, Flash fan, but sometimes not like back to back, but sometimes your chats just show up twice for some reason. Yeah, what's he gonna ask her without looking like a jerk? Or worse. Your niece, Mia, is having surgery tomorrow to remove bits of sponge she put in her ears a few years ago without anyone realizing it. Yikes. Wow. I hope everything goes well. I hope she has a quick recovery and no lasting damage there. Yeah. Well, another point. One, I gave him a point earlier because he said he ran over a skunk yesterday. So there was a 1 point. Now he's got another point for not asking her any questions. So he's got 2 points. Oh, Wiedenhoff is the Bush doctor's name. Yes. Thanks, Frank. It was rough, but that disease just sucks. Whatever strain of it you end up with. Tell that to Carmen. Tell that to Carmen. She said no problems for a minute at all. The doctor noticed something when she had a cough last month. That's crazy. I can't believe that it didn't bother her. Yeah, he could... Brooks would have had to ask questions and make it all about himself, and he would have asked where the state of Wisconsin was 1,000 times. Oh, he's so annoying. Thank you, whoever. And for you, you said your grandma had it? Yeah, it's just yucky. Yeah, Brooks is something. He is something. That is one time the state of Wisconsin should have brought back capital punishment, and then they could have did away with it again if they wanted to. All right, here we come with Dr. Wiedenhoff. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun tonight. You know firsthand. It absolutely is, Frank. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. Yep. We went through that too. Dr. Weed Juice. All right. This is our last witness for the night. Oh my goodness. This felt like today went forever. True. Yikes.
Doctor, if you would please come up to the witness stand. When you get up to the chair, remain standing and raise your right hand.
My
to be
kids
sworn by
never
my
did
clerk.
that, so I'm hoping Madison follows.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you. You may have a seat. That black bar with the red dot in front of you is our microphone. Get yourself situated nice and close to that and start by stating your name, spelling your first and last for the record.
My name is Alex Wiedenhoft, A-L-E-X, last name W-I-E-D-E-N-H-O-E-F-T.
Attorney Tom Bosco.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, and good afternoon, sir. Can you please tell the jury where you're employed?
I work in the Center for Wood Anatomy Research at the Forest Products Laboratory in Madison, Wisconsin.
And how long have you been so employed, sir?
I've actually worked there since I was a freshman in college.
And do you have a educational background that qualifies you to hold your current position, sir?
I have a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD, all from the Department of Botany at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I'm also an adjunct professor of botany.
And in terms of your training and or experience, do you have any specialized training or experience that qualifies you for your current position, sir?
I've had extensive coursework related to plant identification and tree identification. I give guest lectures in the tree identification course at UW-Madison. And then I do forensic work for the federal government, specifically typically pertaining to wood specimens as a part of my normal employment research.
And throughout your career, have you ever testified in court regarding any botanical findings before?
I've had, I appeared in court one time in 2020, and I've had numerous reports and evidence reports and things filed in cases, civil and criminal.
If you had to estimate, sir, about how many reports have been utilized in court proceedings that you've authored?
Oh, probably at least a dozen, maybe more, yeah.
And if you had to estimate how many times you've testified in court, not counting today, how many times would you say you've testified, sir?
Just the one time.
Okay. And you testified just a few moments ago that you're also a college professor, is that right, sir?
I'm an adjunct associate professor in the botany department at UW-Madison.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So you've actually taught the science of botany at the collegiate level before?
I give guest lectures in plant anatomy and dendrology, and then I co-teach the forensic botany course.
And sir, have you ever been published regarding any specific botanical issues?
Yes, I have on the order of 100 scientific publications.
And are you familiar with a document, sir, that's known as a curriculum vitae, or CV for short?
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury, what is a curriculum vitae?
A CV it's basically like an academic resume on steroids. It's excruciatingly detailed, talking about professional accomplishments.
And do you regularly keep a copy of your curriculum vitae as part of your career?
Yes, that's common for scientists.
And if I was to show you a copy of your curriculum vitae here today in court, do you think you would recognize it, sir?
I presume so.
Okay. Madam Clerk, if we could just show this exhibit to the witness. It's been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 58. So are you able to see this exhibit in front of you?
I can. That is my CV.
And I'm just going to scroll down here. Just this entirety of this document is 21 pages. Is that right, sir?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, I can scroll down if it makes it easier for you, sir.
Oh, I see. Yep, there's the page count there, yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure we go through all the pages here just to make sure that we don't miss anything here. And I've scrolled down through all 21 pages of this. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
And this is your CV?
It is.
Okay. Your Honor, right now move the exhibit into evidence and ask that it be received.
Any objection, Mr.
No
Lychwick?
objection.
It will be received.
Yeah, mine would be like a page or a half a page.
Doctor, as it relates to this particular case, I'd like to turn your attention to that now. Do you know a specialist by the name of Nikki Nelson?
I did meet Specialist Nelson, yes.
Can you please tell the jury how you came into contact with Specialist Nelson?
In fall of, I think it was actually Halloween Day of 2024, I was giving a guest lecture at UW-Platteville. A colleague of mine, Dr. Jana Marie Truesdell, was teaching a forensics course and asked me to give the guest lecture on forensic botany. And my understanding is that she also works part-time as a medical examiner or something to that effect, and became involved in this case just a few days after I had been there lecturing about forensic botany.
Doctor, how do you spell that name that you referenced?
Jana Marie is all one word, Janamarie, and I think her surname is Truesdell, Truesdell, but I'm not certain.
Thank you.
Okay. So was this this class that you were guest lecturing at, the instructor for that class was the go-between between you and Specialist Nelson, is that right, sir?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Okay. And let me just back up and ask you this as well, Doctor. As a doctor of botany, is it fair to say that you're comfortable identifying plant life based on photographs?
Yes, within reason, yeah.
Okay. And was there a point in time in which a Specialist Nelson met with you in person?
Yes, we arranged to transfer the evidence collected at the scene that I could take it to my laboratory for analysis.
And when you met with Specialist Nelson, was that on November 8th of 2024?
Yes.
And you may have just answered my next question, but at that point, what, if anything, did Specialist Nelson give to you at that point in time, sir?
There were sealed evidence bags, brown paper bags with various, I mean, at the time I didn't know, obviously, but with material inside, including botanical material.
And before you received this botanical material from Specialist Nelson, did you know anything about this plant material?
The only thing that I knew was from a conversation with Specialist Nelson, and that indicating that it was associated with a body.
And sir, as far as the location where this plant life was specifically recovered before you received it from Specialist Nelson, had you physically ever set foot on the site of the murder, sir?
I have not.
Okay. And the vegetation that you received from Specialist Nelson, can you just tell the jury a little bit about how it was specifically packaged when you received it?
The bulk of the material was in sealed paper bags, but there were a couple items. There was one item that was in a sealed plastic jar, but it had like an SKU number on there and an evidence number for individual items that we use to track as we go through, so that we can associate whatever's found back to the correct context, I guess, in which it was collected.
Is it fair to say that each of these items of vegetation were packaged together, or were they packaged separately?
There were several individual bags, separate bags of evidence.
Okay. And then after you received these plants from Specialist Nelson, what did you do next then in order to analyze them, sir?
So to be able to, because with a case like this, you don't know what's in there. You have no idea what you're dealing with. So I started by setting up a clean area in my laboratory and then putting down a laboratory tissue, like a giant Kleenex, basically, so that I could separate out individual items, because there were little pieces of leaves and broken twigs and dirt and other detritus in there. It wasn't just like a pristine, perfect, leaf or something. And so I was able to then keep all of the material in one place and sort through and say, well, these are twigs from like broadleaf trees, and these are twigs from conifers and things like that for each separate bag of evidence.
And you might have covered this already, but just so we're clear, so after you received the bag from Specialist Nelson containing the plant life, you then transported it back to your lab. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's when you that's where you actually performed the testing on this plant life, was at your lab?
Correct.
And was that in Madison, sir?
It was.
Okay. And when you arrived at your lab in Madison with the plant life, did you physically eyeball it first, sir?
Yeah. The initial question is, what do we even have in the bag, and is there anything for me to operate on? People sometimes don't always know how to collect botanical evidence, so it's kind of it can be questionable sometimes whether things are in good condition or not, and so every time you open a bag, you don't know what you're going to get. And so it begins just with a naked eye analysis, trying to separate out into different groups.
And did you have enough where you were able to then physically test after you observed it with the naked eye?
Some of the material was testable. Some of the material were just tiny broken fragments of leaves. There's not much for me to do with that. But,
okay. And did you utilize any sort of equipment then when you were testing this plant life, sir?
At various stages, I would use a magnifying glass, a hand lens that I have on me right now,
wondered
and
what
then
that
also
was.
transmitted light microscopy. So I'd make microscope slides. Transmitted light microscopy.
Were you able to make an identification on any of the plant life, sir?
Well, one of the items in there was a seed from a catalpa, and then another item looked like was probably a decayed catalpa fruit itself.
I see. And when you use the word catalpa, is it accurate? And please help us if we're not stating this correctly. Is it accurate to call it a catalpa pod, or is it just catalpa?
The catalpa is the name of the plant, and so catalpa, it has wood, it has bark, it has leaves, it'll have flowers, it'll make fruits, and so when we're talking about the catalpa pod, that's really the fruit. It looks like kind of a dried out gray to brown long string bean.
And are they fairly common, catalpa pods?
Catalpa trees will produce them once they're of sufficient age, and an individual catalpa tree can produce quite a few, and they tend to hang on the tree. They're rather distinctive. Catalpas themselves are typically found as planted landscape trees in this part of the world, and I don't have any. I guess I don't have any expertise to say how abundant they are in the Waukesha landscape.
I see. And was there a point in time in which you informed Specialist Nelsons of your findings in terms of being a catalpa pod?
Yes.
And did you inform her of your findings on December 2nd of 2024?
That's correct.
And did you then have a conversation with her in terms of the vegetation that was located on the site where this catalpa pod was found?
Yes, because if you think about, now I just said I don't have a specific expertise in the abundance of catalpa, but maple trees, for example, are extremely common. So if we found a maple fruit, that wouldn't be all that interesting or informative. When we find a catalpa fruit, that means that we're going to be in fairly close proximity to a catalpa tree, because those fruits don't get moved around much by animals. They don't blow away in the wind. They often typically will hang on the tree on into the next growing season. So typically you would expect to find a catalpa in fairly close proximity to where you would find a catalpa fruit.
Was there a point in time, sir, in which you asked Specialist Nelson to go back to the scene where this catalpa pod was found and do something for you at that particular site, sir?
Just to see if there was, in fact, a catalpa nearby.
And do you know whether she actually did that for you, sir?
She did.
And do you know whether she later sent you some pictures of what she had located at that particular location?
That's correct. She sent me a picture of a catalpa fruit.
And if I showed you those pictures here today in court, would you recognize them, sir?
I believe so.
Okay. Madam Clerk, these exhibits have been previously received as States Exhibit 55, 56, and 57 as well. I would ask that we place these on the witness's screen as well.
Attorney Tom Bosco, they've already been published to the jury, so if we want.
Okay, great. Yeah, then if we could publish them, that would be great as well. Doctor, this has been previously received as State's Exhibit number 56. Are you able to see that, sir?
I can.
Okay.
This looks like 55.
Oh, 55, excuse me. I apologize. Do you recognize this photo that's depicted on State's Exhibit 55, sir?
Yes.
And there are a series of items that are hanging down from this tree branch. Do you see that, sir?
I do.
Do you recognize those, sir?
Those are catalpa fruits.
And was this the picture that Specialist Nelson sent to you, sir?
One of them.
Okay. And again, it is your testimony that you can positively identify these as catalpa seeds?
This is the like a quintessential kind of winter silhouette of a catalpa. Yeah.
And now directing your attention to what has been previously received as State's Exhibit number 56. Is this a picture that you received from Specialist Nelson as well?
It is.
And are you able to identify the plant that is depicted in State's Exhibit number 56?
It's a catalpa fruit.
Okay, and why are you so confident, sir, that State's Exhibit 56 is a catalpa fruit?
I don't mean this to be flip, because that's what catalpa fruits look like.
Not a problem, sir.
Yeah, that's and so when they mature, they crack open, and there are papery little seeds inside, and you can actually see some of those here.
Okay. And then finally, turning your attention to State's Exhibit number 57, is this also a picture that you received from Specialist Nelson?
It is.
Is this a catalpa seed, sir?
This is not.
What is this vegetation that's depicted, sir?
This is a little branch with some of juniper. You can see what people call the juniper berries. They're not actually berries, they're technically little cones, but everybody calls them juniper berries. So yeah, this is a sprig of juniper.
Did Specialist Nelson tell you the vegetation that's depicted in State's Exhibit 57, did she tell you where she found this?
My understanding is that it was at or near the site of the body.
Okay. And again, with respect to the previous two exhibits, did Specialist Nelson tell you that those had been also received on the site where the body was discovered?
Or in the immediate vicinity thereof, yeah.
All right. Just one moment, sir. These photographs that you received from Specialist Nelson, did you receive them on December 10th of 2024?
I believe so.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Lychwick, cross-examination?
No questions.
Okay, doctor, you may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
The state may call its next.
No, they may not. I was trying. I had it. All right. I'm not gonna. I was like, we could play one more, but I really don't want to mess up. Sorry for rattling my papers. Yeah, let's save it. Let's save it. Yeah, I'm not doing that, Flashman. Nope. That, I don't remember how far I got into the staircase trial. That thing is long, and I would not have even finished it until fall, and that was in the spring. And I think when you sent me that, Frankie, take care. It was so good to see you. And hopefully you won't be a stranger. What's up, Carmen? Speaking of Carmen, I was watching, I haven't finished it yet, but I was watching part of a body cam video before I started the stream tonight. Oh my, I saved it. We will have to watch it at some point because I'll just tell you this. This woman, if we had a bingo card for some of the things that we hear on, the body cam videos, the one of them that wouldn't probably be on the bingo card that should be is my dad's the sheriff, or my dad's a cop. She throws that card down, and then later proceeds, 2 drinks, 2 dozen maybe, and then later maybe 2 liters. I don't know. It all just depends, Flash Fan, on how long how many episodes I can get done each day, because like the staircase one, some of the episodes were too long to even get done. They were I could only do like 1 episode for many, many days. And yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so she throws down my dad's the sheriff. She's been in a car accident outside of a KFC, which is hilarious because we were just talking about chicken. And Bad Dazzler just mentioned chicken again. But then she starts blaming her dad, or getting mad because her dad didn't get in trouble. And then she's she's at the hospital because they have to get her medically cleared before they can take her to the jail, which I know Carmen will understand this all too well. And then she's a bigger white lady gal. I'm trying to be nice. And then she starts twerking. Says she's making a TikTok video, and then I had to turn it off because I had to get ready to start the stream. I saved it because we have to watch that thing at some point because it was amazing. It was amazing. And when she was twerking, she's making all the noises. So I have a feeling the next day when she woke up, wherever she woke up, I don't know if she woke up in the hospital or jail, wherever, I don't know, that there was a whole bunch of regret because I have had a night like that's led to a morning like that. It's like, oh, yep. Don't even tell me what I did. Don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't do that anymore. You've been drunk enough to dance, but not drunk enough to twerk. I couldn't twerk if I tried. Be hilarious is what it would be. Yeah, at least she didn't do that. What happened, Carmen? Since Friday, he's been painting the walls and himself with feces since Friday. And an overabundance of naked arrest. Probably because it's hot down there in your state. And an OD being in charge of 15 plus hour shifts. Yep, that's a lot. And then getting home just for my phone to ring. I finally laid down after a 19-hour shift. Go to sleep. Yeah, Haley. Oh, no. Remind me why you do that job again, Carmen? Because she would be miserable doing anything else. She tried. She tried to leave law enforcement. It is in her blood. I don't know from where. But it is. I am stuck to my watch. Just stuck. There we go. I thought I was going to have sleep down here. My watch got stuck on my, this mat thing I have on my desk for, it's like a big mouse pad, but my watch got stuck in it. Well, I hope you don't get sick. Also, there's a parasite going around and it's in your state. I read the list last night and it causes explosive diarrhea. It's in contaminated food and water. So please be careful. That's the last thing you need. Yeah. I'm singing that in my head, for that shall remain. You got a good job by the administrators today. Hey, that is a lot. So, good job for getting a good job. I mean that. What she's also not telling you is apparently she saved somebody's life on Friday when her and Shai were out to dinner too, because they stopped breathing at the restaurant. So I am not a former cop, but my husband is. He wasn't a cop for very long. But he was one. So, I don't know. Maybe that's where she got it from. But yeah. Yeah. she skipped over that part that she did that. I haven't heard the story yet, but I will when she catches up on her sleep. You know about the outbreak? I think to myself, man, what if I pet the wrong animal and forgot to wash my hands and now it's all my fault? Don't pet anything. Don't pet any humans without gloves. Don't pet any animals. wash all your food and only drink bottled water. It just said contaminated food, and I have no idea what kind of contaminated food it is. If it's anything in particular, I have no idea. It's in like every state around us, but it's not here. Thank goodness. Not yet. Y'all keep it to yourselves. I don't want that. I don't want it. All right, guys, I will be back on Thursday. Dinner tomorrow, and then don't forget next Wednesday I will also won't be here. But we'll finish up day one. This trial's only 4 days, so take us, whatever it takes us. But we will finish up day one on Thursday with the all the detectives. So that's what we got going on. Hopefully it's a little bit more exciting than what today was, but we always have these boring days. So it's just the way trials go. Oh, here's her story. All right, this is where Carmen saved life. This lady on Friday was leaving the restaurant, walked out the door and collapsed on the concrete, not breathing, turning blue, etc. I was able to get her breathing, awake, and stable until EMS. Good for you. I was going to guess choking. I didn't realize that she was on her way out. Not in that manner. Out the door. But, yeah, I'm sure they were happy for you. Thanks, Flash Fan. Pat Dazzler. Thank you, AJ. Chat, take care of who you eat. Stay safe. Don't do anyone I would do. What's dark? I was just correcting myself when I said she was on her way out. I didn't mean like that. Yes, she is a superstar. I agree, Haley. Absolutely. I was thinking that too. Like, there's no newspapers anymore. She would have got her picture in the paper 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Oh, wow. Her blood pressure dropped and she went into cardiac arrest. That's scary. She's on her way out. I didn't say but yes, technically we all are on our way out. Yes. And whoever, you're correct. I thought that too. It's just what her training kicked in, and that's just what she does, and she probably never even thought anything else about it, and probably was barking orders at everybody else what to do to get the people there that she needed. So it's just what you guys that do that stuff do. All right, Flash Fan, thank you. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you're doing. Mornings for some of you. Carmen, go get some sleep. I'm gonna go upstairs and see my new landscape. See what else it looks like up there. And good night, Miss McPickle Pounded. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. See you guys all on Thursday. Enjoy your Wednesday. And take care. Be safe. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? Yes, and I agree. Absolutely agree with you. All right, guys, that's it. I will see y'all Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great rest of your evening and tomorrow.
Automatically love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, automatically love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. Ooh. watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go.